Hello, welcome back. This is lesson 5 of the Word Grows Multiplying Ministers course. I'm Pastor Peter from Sweden. Thank you for joining me for the first section of the lesson. Think about this. There are 2 congregations, each very different from the other. The first church has a pastor who is the only one in the congregation called to serve as a minister of the Word. He teaches all Bible classes. He preaches the sermons each week. He prepares the worship service. He also visits the sick, helps manage church finances, organizes fellowship meals, prepares things for the sacrament, and leads leadership team meetings. He would also like to evangelize to people in the community, visit church members who no longer attend services, start a youth Bible study, and spend more time with his family. But he doesn't have the time in the day for these additional important activities. The second church has a team of leaders. One leader has been extensively trained in Scripture. He spends much of his time coaching others. He has trained members of the congregations who have shown the desire and gifts to serve. These members have been trained in basic Christian doctrine and understand the difference between law and gospel. Each Sunday morning, when members meet, the leader is available for counseling. Meanwhile, another member who has been carefully trained in Scripture teaches the Bible class for adults. During that same time, a younger man trained in youth ministry leads the Bible study for teens. 2 women trained in instructing children teach Sunday school to young children. Another woman with more advanced training in doctrine teaches the older children. During the week, there are individuals responsible for following up with new visitors to the church and others who visit the sick. Which of these churches most closely resembles the image of the many parts one body church we learned from Romans 12 and 1 Corinthians 12 in our previous lesson? Which church reflects the many opportunities for various forms of gospel ministry that we've also learned from Scripture? The second church is the model we, of course, want to follow. However, it's not always easy, is it? There are many church leaders who want to follow the second model, but don't know how to involve more members in ministry or train others. Maybe you have found yourself in a similar situation. Let's learn from the book of Acts what can be done to fix this situation.
In Joppa, there was a disciple named Tabitha. In Greek, her name is Dorcas. She was always doing good and helping the poor. About that time, she became sick and died, and her body was washed and placed in an upstairs room. Lydda was near Joppa, so when the disciples heard that Peter was at Lydda, they sent 2 men to him and urged him, "Please, come at once." Peter went with them, and when he arrived, he was taken upstairs to the room. All the widows stood around him, crying and showing him the robes and other clothing that Dorcas had made while she was still with them. Peter sent them all out of the room. Then he got down on his knees and prayed. Turning toward the dead woman, he said, "Tabitha, get up." She opened her eyes, and seeing Peter, she sat up. He took her by the hand and helped her to her feet. Then he called for the believers, especially the widows, and presented her to them alive.
What do we know about Dorcas? Acts 9 describes her as a disciple and says that she was always doing good. She made clothes for people. Her ministry was to the poor. As a disciple, her task would inevitably have included sharing Jesus. Although we could say that she exercised a limited form of ministry, her work was so important to God that he decided that for her, heaven could wait. The Lord had Peter raise her from the dead so that she could continue in her service to God and her neighbors. Dorcas had a ministry to the poor that allowed her to put her faith into action. What ministry possibilities exist for you? Are there people with spiritual gifts that you could train for the work of God's kingdom? How would you train them? You'll discuss possible answers to these questions in your live class. I'm Peter. May God bless you as you continue learning how to multiply ministers.